Yo, what's up? Now that the first weekend of the Alpha 2 testing is done, I wanted to make a brief little write-up about my experience. So that's what this is. I'm in the guild Envious, where we kind of just sat in big groups efficiently leveling, and we no life to the 10th degree of no lifing. So sit back, crank the volume up, and hit that follow button, and let's get started, all right? To start, I of course went mage again, all right? As I've had like 400 something hours in the mage on the previous testing, and now that these characters won't be wiped for a while, at least they say it won't be wiped until like May or even further than that, I think. I wanted to get a mage to the cap level, which is 25 for this testing. Then I'm going to start a ranger or a fighter. I don't know which one I'm going to do yet. I'll probably let the stream choose my thing. I'll do like a poll on chat and let them pick fighter or ranger. I'm not sure, because I honestly don't know which one I want to play. They both look fun. As for the servers themselves, they were obviously riddled with bugs. Not nearly as much bugs as there was in any of the testing that we've done. This launch, this weekend, was the smoothest I've ever seen it, okay? It was pretty crazy. I know a lot of people had issues with bugs, but I actually didn't have that many issues with bugs. I lagged a little bit here. I stuttered a little bit here. I skipped a little bit here. I DC'd, a few times, obviously, but I don't know if I just got good RNG, but me and my group actually got in pretty smooth, skipped the queue. I don't really know what's going on with that, but I know I heard some people having very bad issues with it. The servers, I think the most annoying thing of the server was the DDoS attack at the end. They had a DDoS attack that lasted like 16 hours or something crazy. I don't know. But a big thing that was annoying was every now and then the game would crash, which is normal. Well, not normal for a game, but game in development is normal, right? What happens is everything in the game around you, besides you, will be just running in place. Either running in place or running into a wall, like the good old lag. Like you're just like, you know what I mean? Like the obvious telltale signs. And then roughly a minute or two later, you get kicked from the server and then you log back in. Now, the problem that people were having is everybody would get this DC. It's everybody at once, right? Everybody in this area. So it'd be like me and my group of, 10 people. We're over here in Steel Bloom, and everything in that area of the Steel Bloom zone gets locked out or something like that. You see what I mean? So, wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the most annoying thing was every now and then you get DC like that. And you would log in, but it put everybody in a queue, and it was only letting like the first 100 people into the queue, and then it would I don't even know exactly how they were doing it. It was speculation in my guild. But what I do know is everybody would get kicked. You would then wait for it to kick you and then join the thing, right? Join back in, log in, and you can play again. But there's a queue, and there could be kind of long sometimes. But what we figured out, someone in the guild figured out that the minute you're crashing, which is obvious because not just one person running in place, everything around you is running in place. And sometimes it takes like 3-4 minutes to go. It's not always just 1 minute. It's short or it's long. But you can just Alt F4 as soon as you see that, and then you can get right back in right away. So you're beating the crash. Because what's happening is the server's crashing and going right back up. So it's like just making everybody relog. And so you just have to Alt F4 as soon as you see that, then you can get back in. And then I had the longest queue I was in, maybe 15 minutes. And that was because I didn't do that Alt F4 thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, the servers, they were cooked as expected. However, myself and many of us knew that Lion's Hold and their areas around that are the culprit for this, right? That's the worst zones to be in. That's where most of the lag is coming from. I know it's somewhere else too, but that's kind of where it's actually coming from, okay? So we needed to get the fuck out of there. So the minute the server launched, we immediately left Lion's Hold, picked up the plunders, and did them. The plunders, for those that don't know, are kind of like a quest. There's a statue that you find, and the statue tells you to go find 7 plunders in the world, right? And then you have to go get those plunders and return them to him, and he gives you like 100 glint and a shit ton of experience, right? The only issue with this is they don't tell you where to find them. You have to literally find them around the Riverlands. It could just be a little there's no icon. When you get close to it, that little dot pops up that tells you can interact with it. There's nothing at all that tells you where this is. It's crazy. Luckily, our guild has a team of players who just like to find these, and they found them all. However, another issue is that half of them are in very high level zones, like Oakenbane Keep. And you don't want to go to Oakenbane Keep at level 1 because there's mobs there. However, there's a way to finesse around the mobs to get the plunder, But there are some high level zones that you can't sneak around and get the plunders. It's not worth it at that low level because you'll just die, right? Now, of course, you can get these at a higher level, but by then the experience from it just won't even dent your experience bar, so it's not worth it, right? So it's only good at the start, in my opinion, because you get 4, 5, 6 plunders, right? Because the other ones are hard to get without dying. And then once you get those, you mix those plunders in with a couple more random things you're doing in the world, like talk to this guy, do this, drop this off, do whatever you want. And we ended up level 7 within like 20 minutes, 18, 19, 20 minutes or so upon launch, okay? The next step is getting your mount, which is a very simple quest called Sweat Off Your Brow that has you craft some things for him and turn it in, and then he tells you to go to Stable Master and you get a horse. Very, very simple, right? Once we got our horse, it's time to farm up our level 10 gear. Now, you can simply buy the level 10 gear off the vendor from any node, which is always suggested if you hit level 10 and you need weapons, right? Obviously. However, you find much better gear than that from the mobs. Like way better, bro. Like I'm not even kidding. I got a very nice rare book to drop again, and it was 3 times as strong as the level 10 book that I would have normally had from the vendor. Crazy, bro. And it carries me to till 20, right? Actually, I still have it on at 20 because I haven't got the new one yet. It's like that good. So in my opinion, the best way to go about this is to farm mobs, right? But not all mobs drop gear. So I suggest humanoids because they seem to drop the most gear. I don't know if they're the only ones that drop gear, but they drop like a lot. I mean, a shit ton of gear. You'll have multiple pieces of gear dropping in like an hour or two of you sitting there, right? So my favorite is the goblins. There are many types of goblins in this game in forms of the creepers and the shamans mainly because they're kind of annoying, but they're rather easy to deal with. They're scattered everywhere and have a very wide range of levels and have insanely good gear drops like that book I was talking about. So whether I'm solo or in a group, I love goblins. And where it lacks in XP, it makes up for greatly in drops. Sadly, I didn't make it to 25. I didn't really think I would. However, I did make it close to level 21 as the highest mage on the server, though it's like 2 or 3 of us mages in the guild that are the same level, to be fair. And it took roughly 41 hours. This was with my guild utilizing the highest density of mobs to gain the highest XP per hour. A lot of this weekend's grind was farming these 3-star in the AoE fashion, i.e. the rangers pull as many of these mobs as they can, which in this example is about 6 or 7 of those mobs. The tank then grabs them away from the ranger as they come in and stacks them, and then we'd all take a few minutes to AoE them down and then just keep going endlessly, literally. The grind resulted in 575,000 XP per hour-ish, around there, give or take a couple thousand. That's really high in comparison to halls, goblins, Ursine caves, or anywhere else that you pretty much normally efficiently grind XP. Except in those examples, the most we can get is like 250k or something like that. And that's if you're giga grinding, maybe 300k in halls of adjudication if you're actually like really gaming and everybody's on top of their shit. Anyways, I ended up staying here at this place from level 11 all the way to 20. With a 3-hour nap at some point when the servers went down for a bit. Once I hit level 20, it was time to head out and farm the high level 20 gear. This led me to heading out to the lawless zones to hunt down the world boss Kumat. I think that's how you say his name. This is like a very mini Tumok boss that we saw in the showcase and drops some insane gear, like a wand that'll last me far past level 25. I want it so bad. So we kill him and then farm the mobs in the lawless zones around the spawn because they drop insanely good gear as well. We chill up here until all the DPS get some weapons since the weapons are the biggest for the DPS and the tanks get their full set as well. After this, we all headed to Steel Bloom area to try to kill the world boss Firebrand, which we could not kill yet, actually. We needed either a few more level 20s with us or just our core to get more gear. It was at this point that I decided to finally get some good sleep. So I got a nice 5-6 hour little rest with about 12 hours left until the server shut down. I woke up refreshed and ready to boot up the stream, farm world bosses, and start my weaving and tailoring. But unfortunately, the game got Omega DDoS for like 12 hours or some shit, and Intrepid shut the server down early. So I wasn't able to do it. Sadly. All in all, I had a lot of fun. Granted, all I did was like mob grind for 95% of the weekend. I know mob grinding isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but leveling does need to be done, and this is by far the fastest way. My ultimate goal for this weekend was to hit level 20, maybe 21, and then blow out my weaving and tailoring since I'm the guild tailor. However, thanks to the server issues, I couldn't do the artisan stuff, and I didn't hit 21. I feel like I would have hit 21 though if the servers were up as well, but who knows. I would like to hit 25 this weekend, but realistically, I don't think that's going to happen because it's a long time to level those 23, 24, 25, and I need to blow out my artisan stuff, and artisan stuff takes a very long time to do. So I think this weekend's going to be a whole lot of me doing my artisan stuff, farming world bosses, farming gear, doing a little bit of leveling. So I'm thinking level 22, blow out my artisans or my tailoring and weaving, and then keep the world bosses on farm. Kind of like, that's what I think the plan is. About PvP, I just wanted to touch on this part here for those that enjoy PvP. We had a ton of PvP, bro. It was crazy. And it was largely guild versus guild. It seems like we have so many damn rival guilds for some reason. Many times we've been mob grinding and then out of nowhere, 15 players from EPH or Nova Order will come bend the corner and clap my cheeks closed. It's been really fun though, to be honest. I know obviously dying sucks, but like even the aspect of like, I'm running this way and all of a sudden I see a sea of purple and white names from another guild and I'm turning around and running back to my guild. It's like, I don't know. It's just fun. It feels fun. I haven't had this feeling on MMO in a while, and I just really, really like it, you know? Typically on all the testing servers we've done, there's been very limited PvP since there's not that many people who have access to testing, and the people who have access to testing, they're not going to drop 40, 50 hours to get the max level or to get level up in a testing thing like we will, right? We're just degening. But now that so many people can play Alpha 2, we have literal guild wars all the time, and we love it, bro. It's so much fun. It's like peak. I can easily say right now that PvP is my favorite thing about this game after this weekend. It was not even on the radar until this weekend. But now, thanks to the thing that you see behind you and many occasions of this right here, my favorite thing in the game. And I cannot wait to do more. And I literally cannot wait for node wars and guild wars to actually be a thing. As you can see from the footage playing, mass PvP is very, very much a thing, and it's really fun. I do have one very large complaint about PvP, and not just me, the community as a whole objectively does, and that's corruption baiting. This means that you can unflag and just sit in the middle of a big battle with a white name, and if anyone kills you, they get corrupted, which is lame, and nothing happens to you besides the XP debt. I'm all for getting corruption if you grief, but you shouldn't be able to sit unflagged to bait people into attacking you, right? On accident with AoEs. That's some cringe shit. That's some really fucking weird shit. This happens literally every time we have a big battle. Our enemies are too scared to handle us, so they sit there and they bait corruptions, right? To give us corruptions. Luckily, we're very good at finding out who not to hit because we have a brain, but these are the people you see in the video with the white names. Those are the corruption baiters, right? Now, it's not hard to avoid hitting them if you're single targeting, but it's impossible to avoid hitting them if you're doing AoE, since they just sit in the middle of bait, and AoE is so much of the damage when PvP, right? Now, allow me to tell you something, okay? Now, if you do this, I want to just come a little closer. Come on. I want to personally tell you that you are a bitch, a big bitch, the biggest type of bitch that you could possibly be. Be a man, flag the fuck up, and die like the rest of the guild or don't show up. Other than that, the PvP was great and it was fun. I've killed many, many unfortunate souls, but I've also died many, many times to the hands of my enemies. I personally cannot wait for the node in the Guild Wars. Like I said earlier, I think that's going to be an absolute blast. To close, I just want to touch on mages for those that intend to play mage. You know, mages are still busted and objectively the best DPS in the game for PvE and PvP. I was sincerely hoping that Intrepid wouldn't nerf mages or even change them at all, and so far they haven't. In PvE, you are well ahead of all the other classes in AoE by a long shot, and once you're level 16, you have like all your AoE spells that you need. It's very, very cozy. Even if you're soloing as a mage in the open world, you have no worries at all. In PvP, you have no issue handling all the other classes when it comes to a 1v1. However, always be careful of rangers. A good ranger can be annoying and very pesky and can easily kill you if you are not paying attention or if you misuse your shield and your blink and stuff. In group PvP, you're just slamming AoE down while spamming single target to nuke or shatter the enemy healers or anyone with low health. All right, well, I think that's it for this one. I don't want to spend too much time on this video as I think you guys had a long enough one with my last video, which I'll link in the description and on screen if you want to see what my experience was like after playing Ashes of Creation for 500 hours. Also, I'll be streaming my Ashes gameplay every single weekend as my guild tries to conquer the world over at twitch.tv/CrixVibes. And of course, please like, hit that red button, the thumbs up, leave a comment if you have any questions, and until next time, peace.